You all read the title of the film, The Ultimate Freedom. Ultimate freedom means complete freedom in body, in mind, and in the self itself. In order to experience this total freedom, Indian sages and saints introduce the subject called yoga. Yoga is a union of the body with the mind, mind with the soul, so that this trinity of the man are brought together so that he lives in that state of peace and poise. Yoga is a means for freedom, and yoga is the end in freedom itself. Yoga means complete subjugation or sublimation of the waves of thought which move in various directions. When the thought waves are completely stilled, the mind remains like the sea without any waves, completely silent and serene. So also man, when he realizes and struggles to still that wandering mind with various thoughts, he experiences the self which has no color, which has no form, which has no shape. In order to experience that self, yoga has various steps called the physical discipline, the moral discipline, the intellectual discipline, and the spiritual discipline. As long as ethical discipline is not maintained, the freedom is not at all experienced. The end of discipline is the beginning of freedom. Our human system, physically, physiologically, psychologically, and spiritually, moves like the rays of the sun in various directions, sometimes with clarity, sometimes with clouded movement. In order to win, to conquer this inner oscillation of the self with the mind, you have to come to the concrete, the body, which is the temple or which is the vehicle of the spirit. We have been given only this capital, the body, in order to realize the trueness of the self. As long as the body, which is the temple of the self, is not kept clean, healthy, pure, and holy, the mind is not at all released from the bondage. So, the physical discipline are given, like the asanas, pranayamas, and meditations. The ethical discipline being that this body, which has not come on our own volition, but it has been given to us. And if this body is abused or neglected, we are neglecting the self, so we have neglected the freedom. So in order to have the disciplined inner freedom, the body, which is the capital, has to be conquered. so that the mind is completely freed from the attachment of the body and get itself attached to the self. Today, I am going to show the asanas and pranayama so that each and every part of our body, each and every limb of our body, unless and until they are completely released from the tension, the subtle body, which is the mind, cannot be known, cannot be seen, cannot be understood. So these asanas are meant to conquer the known so that the known dissolves in the unknown. So today I am doing some of the postures which I am sure will interest and ignite the people who see this film so that they also benefit as I benefited. I was attacked by tuberculosis and I started yoga to gain that health. Today, by the grace of this practice of yoga, I have not only conquered the tuberculosis, but I have conquered the mind and also the self. So when an unhealthy man could reach that highest state of freedom, because when the body and the mind both are released from the tension, there is ultimate freedom, because I live eternally in the present. And that present alone is freedom, and I'm sure that many of you who are going to view this, if they take to practice, they realize what real freedom is. Now I'm starting with a few simple postures from the basic postures and how a man can develop. This is called the Trikonasana or the triangular pose. You can see me when I'm doing that each and every portion of my body is extended in various directions, keeping contact with myself. Parivritta Trikonasana or the lateral triangular pose, where the spine gets a lateral movement. You can see the movement of my back. Uttita Parshva Konasana or the plank angular pose. You can see here how the knuckles of my toes, the knee, the hip, the ankle, the waist, everything stretches in that freedom, doing its job independently, at the same time remaining in contact with the inner intellect. Same, but a revolving movement. You can see the stretch of the hind leg. Virabhadrasana. All the variations of the standing postures. As the left hand is moving forward, you can see the other hand moving backwards. Ardha Chandrasana or the half moon pose.
Watch even the toes, how they stretch. Even that little toe.
Parshottanasana. How? We have to fold our palms as we fold in the front.
It's a forward movement, extension of the spine.